So, ladies and gentlemen, here's the deal. Why is Boris Karloff so big to people from Canada? Well, not only being a member of the Commonwealth, one of the most respected actors of all time, he called our nation home for a short period. Now, when he was a young person, before he was an actor, he was a native of Dulwich, Surrey, England, aboard William Henry Pratt. Now, he spent his childhood years there in the county of Middlesex. He was the youngest of 9 children and following his mother's death was brought up by his elder siblings. After first attending Enfield Grammar School, he received a private education at Uppingham School and Merchant Taylor's School. Following this, he attended King's College in London, a very diverse and important college, where he took studies aimed at a career with the British government's consular service. However, in 1909, as a 22-year-old, he left university without graduating and drifted, departing England for Canada, where he worked as a farm laborer, truck driver, and did various odd jobs until happening upon stage acting, which led to a later film career. He also worked, get this, for BC Hydroelectric in Canada. Now, Pratt began appearing in theatrical performance in Canada in 1911, and during this period he chose Boris Karloff as his stage name. His presence in Regina, Saskatchewan, the Regina Theatre, on the night of the Regina Cyclone in 1912 is a commemorated event. Karloff always said he chose the first name Boris simply because it sounded foreign and exotic, and that Karloff was a family name. Karloff's daughter, Sarah, publicly denied any knowledge of Slavic forebears, Karloff or otherwise. It has been speculated by film historians that he took the stage name from a mad scientist character named Boris Karloff, L-O-V, in the novel The Drums of Jeopardy by Harold McGrath. However, the novel was not published until 1920, at least 8 years after Karloff had been using the name on stage and in films. Warner Oland played Boris Karloff in the film version of the book in 1931. Another possible influence was thought to be a character in Edgar Rice Burroughs' fantasy novel The Rider, which features a Prince Boris of Karlova. But as the novel was not published until 1915, the influence may be backward, that Burroughs saw Karloff in a play and adapted the name for the character. Now, one reason for the name change was to prevent embarrassment to the Pratt family. Whether or not his brothers, all dignified members of the British Foreign Service, actually considered young William the black sheep of the family for having become an actor, Karloff apparently worried that they felt that way. He did not reunite with his family until he returned to Britain to make The Ghoul, extremely worried that his siblings would disapprove of his new macabre claim to world fame. Instead, his brothers jostled for position around him and happily posed for publicity photographs upon the reunion with him. After the photo was taken, Karloff's brothers immediately started asking about to get a copy of their own. The story of the photo became one of Karloff's favorites. So, Canada was well known for stage work for many people from England and the Commonwealth over the years. He joined the Jean Russell Company in 1911 and performed in towns including Kamloops and Prince Albert. After the devastating tornado in Regina on 30th June 1912, Karloff, who was in the midst of an engagement at the Regina Theatre, and other performers helped with cleanup efforts. He later took a job as a railway baggage handler and joined the Harry Sinclair Company that performed in Minot, North Dakota for a year at an opera house above a hardware store. While he was trying to establish his acting career, Karloff had to perform years of manual labor in Canada and the States in order to make ends meet. Among this work, he spent more than 1 year laying track, digging ditches, shoveling coal, cleaning land, and working with surveying parties for the BC Electric Railway Company at the rate, get this, of $2.50 per day. For this grueling work with the BCER and other employers, Karloff was left with back problems for the rest of his life. Because of his health, he did not serve in World War I. Now, the idea about Karloff's early career, he served in various theatrical stock companies across the states to hone his acting skills. Some acting companies mentioned were the Harry Sinclair Players and the Billy Bennett Touring Company. By early 1918, he was working with the Maud Amber Players in Valova, California. Because of Spanish flu in the San Francisco area and the fear of infection, the troupe was disbanded. He was able to work with the Haggerty repertory for a while. According to a 73 obituary of Joseph Paul Haggerty, he and Boris remained lifelong friends. So, ladies and gentlemen, without Canada and without BC Hydro, there would be no Frankenstein, the Mummy, and all the great characters he played. Something to think about. Boris Karloff is Canadian.